All right, moving on, trucking platform BlackBuck has raised about $150 million and is now almost close to a unicorn status. The supply chain startup BlackBuck has raised $150 million, the Series D funding that was led by Goldman Sachs Investment Partners and Accel US, with participation from B Capital and Sequoia Capital as well. Joining us now is the founder of the company, Rajesh Yabaji, who's joining us. Rajesh, congrats on that big fundraise, biggest that you've done till date. Talk to us about the focus areas, the strategy with this big investment coming through.
You know, BlackBuck is in like a point in time of the entire journey where I think it feels like I think the game has sort of just begun for us, because we are like barely scratching the surface in this large industry. And I think there's still like a lot of unsolved problems. There are still a lot of questions which I think we need to answer. So for us, the way I think after this round of financing, I think the major directions in which we would be going is, national market expansion. So we have already launched our services across all the 400 industrial hubs and corridors in the country. I think we want to deepen our market share in all these areas. And I think, more and more as we scale, the game is becoming quite oriented into the entire product and data sciences area. And that's where I think we'll be massively investing to ensure that I think we continue to be the leaders and dominate the market.
Right, trucking of course is an interesting space to be in, but what's your typical customer profile like? You cover most of the sectors and have done clients ranging from SMEs to big to large corporates.
So today, if you look at BlackBuck, right? So I mean, we are a company which is adding immense value to the country's logistics, the couple of simple things which we are doing is that by the virtue of the market structure, trucks in the country do not really make the number of kilometers they should make. So, just simplifying the work which we do, we help a trucker make more kilometers, make more earnings, and which thereby reduces the cost of transportation for the country, right? So, now, in that goal, right, with an objective in that direction, we serve anyone and everyone who needs a truck from a particular point to a particular point. Most of our users are business users because we are only in the full truckload segment. So the kind of customers we serve are large corporate houses, you name any company, right, from Unilever, Coca-Cola, Tata Steel, Jindals, right? Be it any space, most of them work with us. And on the small and medium scale enterprises, ranging from a rice trader to a wheat trader, a small manufacturing company, all of them use us. There's only difference is that how they engage with us. A small SME would come on the app and on a click, book a truck. The corporate customers would integrate their ERPs with our systems and do all the transactions in an automated way, right? So everyone and anyone whosoever needs a truck, we provide them with that service.
What's been the most challenging part about building this business, considering you have to be present in smaller towns more than anything else?
Yeah, so I think we are in a market where the business is more of the tier 3, tier 4 towns, the names of these villages which you and I would have never heard, right? So that's the sort of the true nature of our business. And I think this is the part of the entire Indian segment, or be it the global segment, is like underpenetrated from a technology angle. Be it the people who are involved over here, the adoption to technologies, the market segments in terms of businesses, the adoption of technology. I think those angles have been the most challenging, and we as a business have also heavily invested in that direction more. Be it our technology, the way we design it, the kind of people who work with us, the kind of passion with which they design products for drivers and fleet owners, right? I think all of this is what is helping us go stronger against that problem. So just to summarize, what I was intending to say was that technology adoption in a segment which is more a tier 3 kind of a phenomena, where the demographics in terms of education levels are the lowest, is the biggest hurdle for us in terms of expanding really fast and bringing more and more people to use our service.
Absolutely. That's quite interesting that you're saying that the employees of your company will be richer than what they are on the ESOP plans. How many employees stand to gain, considering 25% of the total vested stocks can now be liquidated?
So I think, the entire, fundamental construct of creating a ESOP scheme and the company continuing to invest in the direction of the ESOP scheme is the philosophy that I think, typically if you look at, compensation structures, right, people really end up making decent money from their, cash compensation structures. But I think the ability to make like multiples of that and something which, with the true hard work and the passion with which they're building the story, I think the true results would be more from the equity ownership which these guys have in the company while building it along with us. So we created this scheme 4 years back when we were founding BlackBuck, and at that point in time this ESOP scheme had shares worth 15,000 rupees, because at that point in time each share was about 1 rupee, and that's the construct with which it all started. Today that 15,000 rupees actually stands at close to about $43 to $45 million, which is about 300 crores, and which is basically the wealth which is with the people of the company. And given that in private markets most of this is like paper money, and it's very difficult to sort of liquidate it in open markets, whenever we fundraise, we create these events so that the stock holding which people have it vested, they can convert that into free cash and essentially reap the benefits of being part of this massive journey, BlackBuck. That's like the philosophy behind this.
Right. Reports are also suggesting that you too got close to the unicorn status but nearly missed it. Will you be one by the end of this year? How are you looking at that?
I think, being a unicorn, not being a unicorn is more defined more as a number, right? I think for me, I think the feeling is sort of, very, very, in a very different dimension. Like, so today as we speak, which is something which I tell people is that, you hear us about with the scale of trucks, with the scale of cities we are in present. But I think the true story is that I think we are still scratching the surface. We are still very early. We are in a mammoth market where we are hardly like 1% of the market share. So I think that's what is more important for me to sort of focus on. I think rest everything would follow.
All right, Rajesh, on that note, many thanks for taking your time out and speaking to us at ETNow, and of course congratulations to you for raising that massive amount of money for your company. All right, with that we're completely out of time on this edition of Startup Central. Many thanks for watching.